So what is going on, guys? I'm Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Just before I start, I do want to say I am currently very ill. I wasn't planning to record any videos this week, but I did see, because I've been away for the past week to Iceland. I've just gotten back, and literally on the final day, I think it was, I just fell really ill. I've been back for a couple of days now, and since then I haven't been able to do anything. I don't know if I have the C word. I'm not going to mention it. I don't know how my voice is going to sound on recorded, because IRL, it sounds awful. Hopefully it isn't too bad to listen to for you guys through the microphone. To be honest, I shouldn't even be doing a video. This is probably going to make me feel worse by the time I finished. Luckily, we're still a while away from Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, so I should be alright by then. But like I was saying, I wasn't planning, or more like I'm not capable of making any videos at the moment. But I did see a couple of people talk about Zombies Chronicles 2. And when I first saw this on YouTube and Twitter, I was like, really? Not again? I thought this was all over. I did my final video on Zombies Chronicles 2 months ago. I said then I'm not talking about it ever again, because it clearly doesn't exist. It's not a thing. But that doesn't mean it didn't exist at one time, or at least it wasn't an idea. Just because we're never gonna get it now doesn't mean it wasn't in the works. And well, as it turns out, some brand new information has been added to the COD WikiLeaks to do with Black Ops 4 Zombies, which goes into detail about 5 maps that were scrapped from that game, and one of them includes a Zombies Chronicles map, Transit. So if you want to check this out for yourself, I will leave the link down in the description. But it turns out for BO4, several Zombies maps were scrapped, including planned Chaos DLC maps, which was set in Morocco and Russia, another Chaos storyline map codenamed ZM_Blue, which would have been released after Ancient Evil, and the game files also suggest that Transit and Origins from BO2 were meant to return to the Aether storyline. So what COD WikiLeaks said about the Morocco map was, according to an early content schedule, it would have been DLC 2 for the Chaos story, which means it would have released after Dead of the Night, but before Ancient Evil, and was presumably scrapped before launch, and had its own lore reused for comics. If you've read the Zombies comics, Morocco is a location where some of them take place in, to do with Bruno and his backstory, how he got involved with the crew. I actually think that idea is really cool, because all throughout the COD Zombies comics there are some really cool locations, such as Broken Arrow facilities, the Empty Earth, Zero Base, those are Aether locations. There are loads of different interesting places for the Chaos comics as well that would have made for awesome maps. So to see that Trark were planning to turn one of the comic places, Morocco, into a map and integrating the lore from the comics into it, I think is pretty neat, but that never came to be. Another scrap Chaos map was Russia, which would have been DLC and would have released after the Morocco map. I mean, this one, that's literally all we know about it. As far as I can remember, none of the comics took place in Russia, but maybe they did. I haven't read them in a long time. And the third scrap Chaos map in the coding is only mentioned as ZM_Blue. Datamine model strings reference an Earth Throne Room waterfall and a wooden frame door, and this map, which we're just going to call Blue, would have released after Ancient Evil. We all know that the Chaos storyline was supposed to continue after Ancient Evil. We can tell that by Ancient Evil's ending, how it's left on a cliffhanger. We know that Medusa or the Oracle was going to the Great Library. Bruno and Shaw became members of the Order, and Scarlet was left unconscious, so it was only Diego left. The Chaos storyline was never tied up, it wasn't finished. We haven't seen it again since, nearly 3 games later. It's not going to return, so this map Blue was supposed to be a follow-up to that. But the reason why it was scrapped, we don't know officially, but we can assume due to the failure of the Chaos storyline, combined with what happened to BO4 towards the end. There just wasn't enough interest in the Chaos maps compared to Aether, and with budget cuts and main developers leaving, such as Jason Blundell, the end of BO4 as a whole, not just the Chaos maps, the Aether as well, suffered. So this map, Blue, was cut. We all heard of Zombies Chronicles from multiple credible leakers. We were told that we were going to get Zombies Chronicles 2 during BO4's life cycle after that game had finished. That map pack would release, giving us all of the maps that we never got in the original Zombies Chronicles, such as Transit, Die Rise, Buried, maybe Core of the Dead, Mob of the Dead, etc. But that never happened. And well, according to these new leaks, within BO4's coding there are hundreds of leftover T8 model strings and textures that reference ZM_Transit. And alongside the many remaining models are remastered props for the bank, a radioactive sign, and an animal cage. And if we did end up getting this Transit map, it would have released after Alpha Omega. And since that more than likely wouldn't have made sense storyline-wise, that means Transit would have been a part of Zombies Chronicles 2. Besides from this coding, there might also be more proof that Transit was going to be a Zombies map in BO4, because there is a multiplayer map that is based around zombies maps. So it is called Remnant, and if you look around the map, which is basically a museum, you will find that sections of it are themed after old and current zombies maps. So we have a Titanic section, which of course is containing assets from Voyage of Despair, an Egyptian section, which would be 9, the Crater of Hell exhibit, which features elements from the map Moon, such as the MPD Pyramid, the Vril Sphere, the Asylum exhibit, which obviously is Verrupt. But the one I'm talking about, the Bus from Beyond exhibit, features assets from the map Transit. And this is important because obviously Transit wasn't a BO4 map, it's from BO2. It never got remastered with the original Zombies Chronicles in BO3, so all of these assets we see in this section, such as the Transit bus, Ted, the diner, would have all been remade or remastered for BO4. Just in my opinion, these are pretty big assets and important ones to Transit. The diner is a main location, the bus is the main transport system. Yes, Transit is still a map, but because we see these assets in the Remnant multiplayer map, it would have then been easy for Treyarch to just put these into the actual zombies map. So that's at least some of the work done for it. And like I said, could be an indication that they were planning to make Transit an actual zombies map. Besides from there being hundreds of leftover T8 model strings in the game files and textures that reference Transit as a zombies map, not this multiplayer map, alongside other remastered models and props like the bank. Apparently that's in the game files, another big location in Transit Town, a radioactive sign, an animal cage, all areas that aren't a part of the Remnant multiplayer map, so they must have been specifically for the Zombies Transit map. It's evidence that Transit was going to exist. And if we just take our minds back to what the leakers actually said about Zombies Chronicles 2, because I think we need to maybe, not hold some of these guys accountable, but just remind ourselves. Tom Henderson, a very credible leaker, said back in 2021, hearing rumours that the Black Ops Cold War Berlin map is the last DLC Zombies map. This isn't the case. There's one more planned for September, and Treyarch still have Zombies Chronicles 2 maps ready to go, but I'm not sure if they will release during Black Ops Cold War. We were told towards the end of BO4's life cycle that we were going to get Zombies Chronicles 2, they never released. We were then told, well, because those maps are made, there's a chance that they will release in Black Ops Cold War, but they didn't. But we were told Zombies Chronicles 2 was ready to go, which when you think about it really doesn't make any sense. Why would Treyarch make all of those maps, finish them completely, have them ready to be released, but not release them? It makes zero sense when you actually think about it. So where these guys got their information from that Transit was finished along with Dire Eyes, etc., I have no idea, because it's clear that was never the case. None of these Zombies Chronicles maps were ever made, and that was kind of confirmed when Kevin Drew tweeted back in 2021, when everybody was asking him to release Zombies Chronicles 2, he said in reply to that, "It feels like I want to give 10k to whoever can make Zombies Chronicles 2 and get these people out of my mentions." He wouldn't say that if those maps were made. If he's telling us he wants to give 10,000 to whoever can make them, yeah, that's evidence that those maps never existed, but they were an idea. And that kind of reminds me, we did have this other tweet from Tom, where again in 2021 he said, "There is a separate Call of Duty Zombies project in early development that is currently not connected to any title." I mean, we are now in 2023, we have seen no evidence of a separate COD Zombies project. Whether that means a separate game or something else, I don't know. But even though he said it was in early development, we are over 2 years later now, and we've heard nothing, so more than likely nothing like that ever existed. And again, when you really think about it, a standalone zombies game, if that's what he was referring to, just sounds like more wishful thinking than something that Activision would actually greenlight and make. So yeah, from the looks of it, from what we can find in the game files, Transit was planned. There were assets made for it, such as the bus, the diner, the bank, but that seems to be about as far as Treyarch got with it. They never made the map, it was more of a maybe or hopefully. And then finally, I would say this one is even more interesting. There was a scrapped Aether map that was based around the Great War. Outfits for Crusaders, which are tagged DLC4, are implied to be the playable crew on the map, and ZM_Ori model and animation files suggest that the map would have been based on Origins. And it's important to note that Tagdo Totem was not actually called DLC4 internally. Before Tagdo Totem released around about the time of Alpha Omega, we all speculated that DLC4 in BO4 was supposed to be a Great War map. Our characters of Richtof and Takeo, Nikolai and Dempsey were supposed to go back to the Great War to battle Dr. Monty. That's what we expected, that's what you would think was going to happen, because this was the end of the Aether timeline. We should have got something big. We saw the Great War in Alpha Omega's cutscene, and judging by this coding, we were supposed to get a Great War map, but instead we were given Tagdo Totem. And we can only assume the reason for that was budget cuts and time restraints. And well, since we know Origins was the site of the Great War, it makes sense that that's what this Great War DLC format was going to be based on. I'm guessing it would have been the same location as Origins, just further back in time, because Origins is during World War I, whereas this would have taken place during the Great War in the beginning. That would have been so much better than Tag Toten in my opinion, although I do quite like Tag. In the end, I don't think it turned out too bad, but really this is the map that we should have gotten. So there we go. Let me know your thoughts about all of these in the comment section below. I'm going to go ahead and get some rest now, and hopefully that's the last time we talk about a Transit Remaster or Zombies Chronicles 2, unless it's actually legit proper official news from Treyarch, because other than that I just can't see us getting it. So yeah, drop a like rating if you've enjoyed, make sure you're subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in another video. Until then, goodbye.